Hey everybody, David here. Welcome to David Heavener TV. Do I have a special guest with me? Here's the question. The question is aliens. Yeah, you've heard of them. Aliens. What are they? Are they real or just some figment of your imagination on some sci-fi channel? And if they are real, can you communicate with them? And if you communicate with them, or vice versa, what in the world are they trying to say to you? Or in other words, what's going on here with this disclosure? We're seeing it on the news. We're going through all of this. Well, I've got somebody here with me, my guest, and she says that she has been communicating with aliens since the age of 3 years old. Ronnie, you out there with me?
Yes, I am.
Good to have you. So, Ronnie, 3 years old, you had your first encounter with aliens. But before we go there, let me ask you, what is an alien?
Well, I think it's just people who are not from this planet, but that can be someone who looks human like us, or maybe perhaps people that a lot of people are referring to as the gray aliens.
Okay, so aliens are not of this planet, but yet they are. Are they human?
No, they're not. They're all. If you're talking about the gray aliens, they're almost human, but the gray aliens, they are programmed workers for the advanced races.
Okay.
People out there on other planets.
Okay, but they're in some type of suit. They're biological, is what they're calling them now. Biological. What is this biological made of? What do you think the substance is? And by the way, they're going to now examine the remains of a biological, so they say the military found a while back. I guess we'll hear about that with Congress. But what do you think this is made of, since it's not human?
I believe the biological just means what we're made of. Just
okay.
That they have some mechanical parts to them.
Okay, so that would be maybe a hybrid, somewhere between a human and a mechanical part. In between, there's some substance that lies.
I guess you can call them that.
Okay, all right, okay. So you were 3 years old. You had your first encounter. Tell me about that. What, at 3 years old, at 3 years old, I mean, I can't remember when I was 10 years old, but 3 years old, what was the encounter you had with an alien?
Well, I didn't really have a physical encounter with an alien. It was a telepathic message that came through, and it was so odd that, of course, I remembered it. I mean, you don't remember much from when you're 3 years old, but
right.
Because it was so odd, it stuck with me all these years.
Mm-hmm.
So that message was, and I was standing next to my mother, who was very pregnant. It was the late 60s. 67, I think it was. And this message came to my mind that said, if I was born from my mother, then how was the first person made? And it caused me to look at my mother, who was right next to me, and I looked at her growing belly. So what an odd thing for a 3-year-old to be thinking.
Yeah. So would this be like what becomes first, the chicken or the egg type thing?
Yes, that's a hard concept for a lot of people to believe in, that God created us. They still think, some of them.
Well, I mean, from a 3-year-old, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
That intrigues me almost as much as you communicating with an alien. Okay, let's go to 9 years old. You're 9 years old. Fast forward about 6 years. You had another communication with an alien. Now, this is audio, right? There was no visual, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this was from an alien, someone not of this planet. And what did they tell you?
So I was at a point in my life where I was very interested in the Bible and God, and so I think that message that was put in my brain when I was 3 really sparked something in me, because it started to get me to think of how how did we get here? So I started reading the Bible every night, and a voice came to me that said, the Bible is the word of man and not God. So I stopped reading it, and not that I really understood anyway at that age.
Okay. Did you hear an audible voice, or was it just like a feeling or a?
At that time, it's a voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a voice, and it's kind of like a thought, actually. There are different ways of communication, types of communication that I've received, and my mother has received as well.
Okay. And this thought, this voice, so you're saying it was an alien, told you that the Bible was written by man. So if it was written by man, that means it must not be written by God. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So that kind of means, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, I just want to make sure I understand you, that this whole Bible thing has been conjured up by man and really not written by God. Is that kind of what you're saying?
My personal beliefs are, but that is what I'm saying. But my personal beliefs are perhaps a lot of it's been channeled information.
Okay.
But I don't think that man actually always gets it right.
Okay. So in other words, the Bible, what they said was the inspired word of God, God breathed. It's not really God breathed. Maybe some of it was God breathed, but man wrote the rest of it, filled in the blanks. So there's more. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm just asking you. I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying. In other words, you kind of believe part of the Bible, but then the other part of it is kind of conjecture or man-made. And why do you suppose that is? Why would man do that? Why would man write part of the Bible and say it's all from God? What do you think the purpose of that is?
My mother and I, we don't get into the Bible too much, but there are different Bibles out there. I don't personally have anything against the Bible. I think it's interesting, but there are some Bibles out there that do control people.
Okay, gotcha. The reason I asked is because the voice that you heard told you, the first thing they told you was that what you're reading, because you had told me in the pre-interview that you had been reading the Bible a lot, and I find that very interesting from a 9-year-old, but told you that what you're reading is not really all the truth. So, okay, that's what I was trying to get at. Now, how did you know it was an alien if it was a thought? Like, can you tell me, because people have thoughts, can you connect it with something? Give me an idea how you believe that might have been from the outside, from an alien.
Because there's no reason that I should be thinking such a thing. But when you're young, you don't know, you're not aware of aliens, or I have no thought of any of those kind of things, or people on other planets, or communication, or spirits, or any of that at that time. So I could only just pass it off as my own thought, but it was odd. And I later on thinking, why was I thinking that? Or I questioned it, but what do you do with that?
Yeah, exactly. We'll come back to that, but I want to talk to you about your mom. How old is your mom right now?
She's 82.
Oh, she was almost the same age as my mother. And she's well, she's alive and doing well.
Yes, she is.
Okay. But now your mom had an experience with an alien back when she was, I guess, a young woman, right? She was actually abducted.
Yes. Well, we did not realize that she had been abducted until 2013. So we had this, my mother and I were having this crazy awakening starting in 2012. She was drawing all these pictures of these different looking beings, and some of them looking human.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I didn't know it. And then I was going through things myself, getting back to what I was thought about when I was younger, about where did we come from. And so I decided to look up a UFO conference. And so the next couple months, I went to one.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until then, after the conference, when I came back, I started asking her questions about her sighting.
Mm-hmm.
And it was then that we discovered she had missing time.
Yeah, and that's well, people that are abducted, because I've interviewed many abductees, people that have been abducted and abducted, and one part of that is missing time. Your mother was 17, and she was in California, San Diego.
Yes.
That's a good place for aliens, I guess. But she was in a drive-in movie. I'm sorry. The only reason I'm laughing is, that had to be back in the 50s or the, something like that. And imagine Happy Days, right? The Fonzie comes out and here's an alien. So she's at the drive-in. What, did spaceship show up or what happened?
So she was she was visiting her cousin who lives in, it's called Homeland, but it's in Riverside County, which is north of San Diego. And she and her cousin were at the movies. They left, but the aunt had told them, she was very strict. You come straight home, don't stop off anywhere. So what did they do? They stopped off at a malt shop. And this was 1958. I'm not sure if I said that. So they had their malts, and they said, well, we better hurry up and get home. So they got in their car and floored it. Back then, the cars, I think they had a 1947 DeSoto or something like that, or a Plymouth. I'm not sure which. It was one of those, she said. And they had it floored. And a ship came from behind them, hovered up and over, and then hovered in front of them. And completely.
Wait a minute, hold it. A spaceship came in front over them and then came in front of them? But yes. You said they had it floored. You mean they had the gas pushed all the way to the floor?
Yes. What my mother said was they had the pedal to the metal, but they weren't going anywhere.
Wow.
When they were stopped.
Now, this is no one else saw him except your mother, or did everyone in the car see him?
It was just the two people in the car that saw them. My mom and her cousin. Her cousin was the driver. Okay.
And so then they abducted her at that point?
They did. But it's not something that they remember. She had missing time, so her memory of that experience was erased. But they left enough to let her know that it happened.
Uh-huh.
They wanted her to know.
So you said she was frozen. Was she frozen like freezing frozen ice, or was she just frozen like I can't move?
They were in shock.
Okay.
That kind of frozen. And then they looked at each other and they were just in shock.
Oh, okay. All right. So your mother had missing time. So the next thing she remembered, she was no longer at the drive-in, or?
Yes. The next thing that happened was they were getting out of their car at their house, which was 5 miles away. Only my mother was exiting the driver's side, and she had not been the driver. Mm-hmm. And they hurried up and got to the steps, and my mother was not afraid at all, but her cousin was. And my mom wanted to talk to her about it, and she just said, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. They went up to the stairs, got in the house. They looked out the window. The ship was there, and then it zipped off. And they looked around. The aunt was in bed asleep, which would have never happened. And then they went to bed.
Okay. All right. Okay. We're talking to Ronnie. Ronnie has been communicating with aliens for a long time. And when we come back, I'm going to be asking her about what's her next encounter with the alien? And was she really ever abducted? Also, who are the aliens? I think you're going to be surprised. So I want you to stay with me. Everybody, David here, back with you. Welcome, David Heavener, .tv. We're with Ronnie. Ronnie has been communicating with life out there, with aliens, sake of identification, for quite some time. Ronnie, may I ask is it okay to ask how old you are right now?
I'm turning 60.
Oh, you look so young for 60. My goodness. Now, you've been communicating with what you call aliens, and there's the reason I say that is they're with the current climate of what's been going on. There's so many names now that's going out there, biologicals, and but what is it that really that you're getting from the communication of aliens? Why are they talking to you, and why do they choose you? Why don't they choose a lot of other people? I mean, what's going on with you?
So after we had this awakening in 2013, my mother and I, that is when the communication started with my mother. I've had communication that has been sparse, and I had a whole bunch of stuff going on during our awakening, like an explosion of different things. But my mother has a free-flowing telepathic communication. So I talk to them through her. We've had many, many sessions since then. And so what they told us, what they've come forward, because we are at a very bad time. And I was just talking to my mom last night, and I said, we're heading towards end times. And she says, no, we are in end times. She corrected me. Okay. But that is one of the reason they come forward is because they can help. They're with helping us with telling us what we can do better. It's basically they're coming forward because of our pollution. Nothing to do with the political talking points, and we don't agree with that. But we do have pollution, and they said it's getting really bad, and we don't have a whole lot of time to turn it around.
Okay, so these aliens are communicating with you, telling you that the planet is really bad. We don't have a lot of time. There's a lot of pollution, but they can fix it. Is that kind of what I'm hearing you say?
They can help, but they want us to fix it.
Okay. Are they going to give you, everyone, the intelligence, the wisdom to know how to fix it? Or is it kind of, are we on our own?
We're not on our own, but for one thing, we are smart people. We know how to fix it, but they said that, we're going to have to plant a lot of trees and shrubs that will absorb the impurities. They said that at some point we may have to start going back to making things by hand, knock down factories.
Okay. All right. I want to continue down this path, and I want to ask you, ultimately, what's their goal, and are they going to show up at some point anytime soon? But before we talk about that, I want to go back to when you were 15 years old. You were in school. I think you were at school on a weekend, and you were with another friend, and you all were attacked by, I guess, a group of, I'd call them punks, they were harassing you. There was a girl harassing you. Tell me about that. What happened?
Yeah, there was a girl harassing me, and I just cracked a joke she didn't like, and so she proceeded to come and I'm just standing there. I'm not even moving. So she went to swing and hit my arm, but missed, and I'm just standing completely still. And then she put her head down and with both of her fists went to punch me in the stomach repeatedly. I'm standing there and I'm looking down and I'm seeing that she's only coming to within an inch of my stomach. And I'm like, this is weird. What's going on here? And then so much she got up robotically and walked off. And it was really strange.
Are you saying like her fist went through your face? Like
No, they came only to within an inch of my stomach.
Okay. So what this sound like a supernatural event. What are you saying? Who do you think the girl was, or who was protecting you, or what was going on?
I think it was my guardian angel, even though I didn't have much thoughts of guardian angels at the time.
Okay. So a guardian angel. Does this have anything to do with aliens?
Yes. There's a whole world out there that people people really don't know what the world is. They really don't.
Okay, so the guardian angel, I'm just asking you, I'm not putting words in your mouth, I'm just asking you, is the guardian angel good? Is it a good angel, or is it a bad angel, and is it connected to aliens?
It's connected to, yes, definitely. We all have guardian angels, which I didn't know until this contact.
Okay.
Everyone has one. We all are assigned a guardian angel.
Okay, and this is a good guardian angel
Yes.
that guards us, takes care of us. Is that guardian angel connected to an alien in any way?
They are connected to the people that created us and put us on the planet.
Okay, all
We're
right.
under them.
Okay, well, who created us?
So this contact that has come forward is a very rare contact. They had told us that God created an advanced race of peoples, and that first advanced race of peoples was them. And he taught them to create.
Them meaning the aliens?
The Orions.
Orions, but it's what we're calling aliens for sake of identification.
Yes.
Okay.
The
Gotcha. All right. So God created them, the Orions. And what did the Orions do?
They placed, well, first of all, God did place people on the planet, as we have learned. And it wasn't enough people, so they started putting groups of people on the planet from the different races, and they all came from different planets.
Oh, okay, so let me, again, my brain is very small and I have to process this. So I'm gonna have to walk through this. God created this group of aliens, okay? And then God did create a few people and he spread them throughout the planet. But then the aliens, the Orions, saw there needed to be more people. So they created more people and spread them throughout the planet, which is what we know as mankind today. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yes, and they are the people that watch over us today.
Okay, the Orions watch over us today. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. Where are they at? Where do they live?
They are in the Orion constellation near the planet that we call Betelgeuse.
Betelgeuse?
Yes.
They're on a planet. Where is Betelgeuse? Never heard that in the...
It is, if you look at the Orion constellation, it is the upper left planet. It's around there.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Or
okay. Now, look.
Sun.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get back to them spreading people throughout the planet. You mentioned different races of people. Okay. So I want to be specific so I can follow you. Are you talking about like the Asians, like the blacks, the different races like that? Is that what you mean by race?
Yes. So
okay.
We learned that out there's one planet of Mexican people, there's one planet of Chinese people, one planet of Black people, one planet of Irish people, and so on and so forth. So they took from all these different planets and put.
Okay, hang on for a second. So actually, Mexicans have their own planet. Asians have their own planet. So all of these people that we have here, coming over the border in America, they don't need to come over the border. They just need to get back to their own planet. Is that kind of what you're saying?
That's not what I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying, that that's where they're.
Okay. So all of the people here, the different nationalities, the different ethnics, the different. How about white people? Do we have our own planet? Or are we just stuck here hopelessly? Yes,
they all have their different planet.
So we do. So because I think you're white. I'm white. I got Indian blood in me. I've got all kinds of, I don't know what planet I would go to. I've got like 7 things in me. So I might like disintegrate and go in different directions. So, but now in all seriousness, because I want to know from you, and it's not that I agree with what you're telling me, but I want to know what you're telling me because I want to know what it is you have to say. So they all have their own planet. Seriously, though, do I have my own planet? Just as an example. And if so, where do you think that might be, and how would I find it?
Your planet is here, where you are right now.
Okay. All right.
No, but in origination, if you're, Scottish or Irish, then you came from your ancestors way back then, probably came from that planet.
This planet.
From a different planet.
So in other
we're
words,
talking a long time ago, and since then there's been a lot of intermingling.
All right. So in other words, the white people are just messed over. They got to stay here right where we are. We can't go anywhere. It's like we're stuck with this planet, baby. It's do with it what you want, but here we are. All right. Okay. So here we go. The different races that we have, as you know, especially with the Black Lives Matter and all this racial tension and all this stuff, the culture wars stuff popping up, Ronnie, I mean, if the aliens put all these people together, right, as a melting pot, did they know all this was going to happen? Did they know the lid was going to blow off the kettle with all these riots and stuff going on? Or maybe I'm just way out there. Does it have anything to do with it?
Well, they did this as an experiment to see what would happen. And Earth is the only planet that has all the different races of people here. And we haven't fared so well. And, but not to say that the problem we've got a breakdown of society right now it's gotten worse, and it's been fueled by politics.
Yeah.
That's the problem going on. But before then, racism, I think, was getting a lot better. And then, there's always going to be racism and problems. But it was an experiment to see what would happen.
Okay, so this was an experiment, which I'm going to say has failed miserably. Since it's an experiment by the Orions, the aliens who pretty much created us and put us all together, are they going to come down and fix this thing, or what? Have they talked to you? I mean, is there been any communication about this?
They can only go out on a limb so far from us.
Right.
For us, they have rules to live by. There's only certain things they can do. With our pollution, there are things that they have sent down. There are things that they can do and help us with. But they, it's like a child. Would you go and do everything for your child? They have to learn.
Yeah. Okay.
If you took care of everything for them, they would never learn. In life.
Okay. All right, Ronnie, gotcha. Okay, so we're talking to Ronnie, and when we come back, I want to ask Ronnie about who are the Orions accountable to? Who are aliens accountable to? Do they have a god? Do they have the god? I mean, what's going on? And also, I'm just finding out that now this culture war, everything we're in, is kind of like, I don't know, it's something it was an experiment. So I want to know, are they coming back? And if they are coming back, whether to fix this or not, if they're coming back, what's the stipulations on them coming back? When does Ronnie think they will come back? Stay with me. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody. Okay. David here. Welcome, David Heavener TV. We're with Ronnie. Ronnie, we talked about, or you talked about the aliens, Orions, that they only had they operated within a certain scope of things. They have parameters. Are they accountable to, do they have a god, the Orions? Do they have a god?
We all have one God. It's the same God, who they call the Infinite One.
Okay, the Infinite One. It's okay. So there's one God. Again, you're telling me there's one God. I'm making notes of this. It's called the Infinite One. And under this God, Infinite God, lies the Orions, which he created first because they were the higher level intelligent beings. And then God spread a few people on the earth, but the Orions saw where there needed to be more people. So they created more people and put them on the earth, or did they bring them from other planets and put them on the earth, or both?
They've done both. They
did both. Okay. So they actually, what you're saying is the Orions, these higher levels of intelligence actually are co-creators with God, what they call the Infinite One.
Yes.
Okay. Do they have a Bible? Is there any written record that they have to go by to know what to do and what not to do?
Yes, it's called the Ten Commandments. It's what we
So
all.
so they follow the so they're like, are they like fundamental Shabbat, Shalom? They celebrate the Sabbath. Are they just in the New Testament?
You know, I don't think they go by any kind of Bible. They are way more advanced than us.
Okay.
I don't think they need a Bible.
Okay.
They are very different in their ways and in their thinking. When they created humans, they told us they made a mistake and something went off track.
Uh-huh.
And they said that we're very complex. They made a human, they made a being that they don't even understand themselves. So we handed down some rules to go by, and that was the Ten Commandments.
Okay, so
they do have rules to live by, I guess in cooperation with God. There's only so much they can do for us.
Okay, so if they created us, Ronnie, and you're married, right? You're married?
No, I'm not
married. Was married. Do you have children?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you were married and you're with someone, you had children. So when people get married and they're together and they have children, but that's biological, meaning the seed goes in, the baby's formed, birth, right? The Orions have nothing to do with this, meaning they just created man and woman. Man and woman come together and birth more babies. Is that kind of the way that goes?
That's correct. And they do sometimes put down more people on the planet.
Okay, let's talk about that. So sometimes they put down people because what are the reasons they might put extra people down? Is it not, it couldn't be because there's not enough people. Is there something they're trying to accomplish? So they send a specific person in to do something?
Well, you know how you see these really smart kids graduating college at a really young age. I'm not saying all of them, but some of these kids are kids that they put on the planet after they have mixed them with someone from Earth, mixed them with an advanced person and created a being. And they would grow them on wherever they do that. And then they place them back as a child back on the planet.
Okay, so let me say a few things and tell me if it makes any sense. Because again, I've interviewed many, many people that have been abducted, a lot of women, but I'm going to talk from the perspective of a woman. Could it be that a woman is abducted, that she's taken aboard the craft, that she's impregnated, that they let her back out, she goes back, and then when she's pregnant and carrying the baby, they will pick her back up before she gets into maybe in her first or second trimester. They will deliver the baby, and this is the baby that's basically a hybrid. It's the seed of an alien mixed with the seed of humanity. And then this baby's birth, and this is the smart baby you're talking about that's in school. That's
correct. And they're making them to where they can withstand, their bodies can withstand pollution better. But these kids are to come here and to become scientists and things like that to do something good.
Okay, so they're smart, and we need smart people to figure out how to get us out of this mess. So they're planting these smart people. Okay. Yes. Okay. So my next question is these aliens. I want to go back. Orions. Is there a heaven? Do they die just like we die as humans? Do they have a spirit that goes to heaven, back to the God that they call the Infinite One?
They do die. They don't live forever, although they did tell us they can live forever if they want to, but they don't want to live forever.
Okay.
And as far as them, I don't know. I think they're different and they're special. But when it comes to us and when we die, we don't go to heaven. And they had said at the time, we hate to inform you that you don't go to heaven. It takes a lot of, they said, it takes a lot of people, in their words, meaning incarnations, for you to get heaven, for you to get life right, to get it right.
Okay, so when we die, we don't go to heaven. Where do we go?
We just reincarnate. Sometimes we're hanging around the earth still, our spirit is, and to keep an eye on your loved ones. And
okay, and so we reincarnate. How many times do we have to come back around and do this all over again before we can get a ticket to heaven?
Oh boy, it takes a lot. And then even then they said only the innocent go to heaven. And they said there are a lot of children in heaven.
Okay, wait a minute. The innocent go to heaven. So children go to heaven because they're innocent. So like abortions, children who are, God forbid, kidnapped, murdered, children that get sick, they die before, what age would that be, Ronnie? Age of innocence. Below what age?
Well, there wasn't an age, but I would imagine when they're still pure.
Still pure. Okay.
That is what I'm assuming. That's what I think. I could be wrong. Okay. But if you want to know the way that happens.
Sure.
So when God says he's decided to give that soul a rest and take him to heaven, then let's say a child was killed. So the body is buried. There's no bringing back a body. You can't. It's not possible. Okay. So because the children that go to heaven are do have a body. So what happens is the mother becomes pregnant again, and that same soul is directed to the mother. There's just so many of these there's crazy magical things that happen that we're completely unaware of, that the Orions are all in charge of. This is what they do. They direct the soul to this new child. Then they either take the mother, somehow they take the mother and they retrieve the embryo, and they grow the child, and then they send that child to God in a human in a body.
Okay. All right. But the children in heaven, do they just stay there for eternity, or they get to come back on earth?
I think they stay there for eternity.
Okay.
I don't know anything more beyond what happens with them there.
All right. Gotcha. So Ronnie, do you have any, you said you were a Catholic, or you used to be a Catholic. Yeah. Do you still call yourself a Catholic?
I joined a church that I really liked, and this was only 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I can't say that I'm just going to pick and choose whatever I want out of the experience. And I don't have to agree with everything in Catholicism.
Yeah. And I'm sure, Ronnie, they don't agree with everything you're talking about. I haven't heard the Catholic Church embrace aliens lately. And that was my question. I'm being a little facetious, but I am going to ask you, have you shared this with anybody in the church? And have they embraced aliens at all, the church that you know of?
The one I go to on occasion, they, I don't know. I imagine if they found out, I don't know what they would do. Probably.
Okay.
But I think that they have, they've noticed, or I think I've been told that.
Okay. Well, I want to ask you, who is Jesus?
Jesus is real. Jesus was put on the planet as was told. The story of Jesus is true. And I had wondered why. I had asked the Orions through my mother, why was Jesus has he had visited any other planets? And they said, no. I said, just this one. And they said, yes. And I said, I don't understand why. And it really took a long time for them to answer the question, and months. So I finally came back at one time. I said, why? Why did he visit this planet and no other? And they said it's because that the Earth is the only place that has all the different races of peoples, and the peoples were clashing. So they sent him down here.
So, okay, again, let me sculpt this in the way I might understand it. What you're saying is Jesus was sent by, not by God, but
By God.
the
God.
Orions, the aliens, because we needed help down here. I mean, it was originally a white planet, but because all these other planets, the Mexicans, the Italians, the blacks came in, populated. Now we got all this confusion stuff going on. So Jesus comes down here to straighten this out. Is that right?
Yes, he came here to try to get people to be better people.
Okay. Now, what was he made of? Was he an Orion? Was he human? What was
he was human, just like us, because he was born into a human body.
Okay. All right. But you said they sent him down. So did they send the spirit of Jesus down to?
Yes, the spirit of Jesus to be born to Mary.
Okay, so are you kind of saying Jesus was part alien and part human?
Yes, he had the DNA of God.
Okay, all right. Okay, but the Orions sent him down. But the Orions, are they God?
I believe it was God who sent him down. I can't say it was the Orions.
Yeah. Okay. God. Okay. Yeah. God sent him down. Okay. So the aliens are going to come back. You told me in a pre-interview. Well, let me ask you: do you believe they're going to come back? Is there going to be a disclosure? Are they going to reveal themselves one day and say, "Hey, here we are. This is the whole story"?
Well, I think if we ever get to the point where this is actually what they said, if we ever get to the point where we learn how to make ships and fly ships the way they do, and maybe travel through wormholes, then that's when they'll come forward. Probably because they want to stop us from going to other planets, because they don't want to destroy other planets. But in the end, going beyond there, when we are in end times, I believe that they will pick up the remaining people and take them to another planet.
Okay. Is this kind of like what the Bible talks about, the rapture? But it's the aliens coming to pick up people and take them to another planet. They call it in the Bible, they call it the rapture. Not that rapture is even in the Bible, but is that what kind of that is?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
I believe
All
so.
right.
So we don't, yeah, that's why, that's mostly why they have come forward, is because they want us to fix our pollution. And they have sent some things down to help us. And there are a lot of things that, I think would have you scratching your head or have the scientists going, what is this? And so some of those things are, I don't know if you've seen these blue jellyfish with a fin. So after Fukushima, thousands of them, hundreds of thousands of them were released into the California waters to absorb the impurities from Fukushima.
And who put those in the water?
They did.
The Orions put the little jellyfish in the water.
I believe it was their grays that they have working for them.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned grays. Tell me about the grays. How do you view the grays?
The grays were created as a worker race. They're created by the Orions, but now there are other advanced, after the Orions were created, other advanced races were created, but the Orions are the main ones. And so these other advanced races also create people, and they also have their own gray aliens as well. And they are programmed. They are of biological material and mechanical apparatus, as they say. They said that they have a chip in their brain that instructs them, and it's precise. And
Yeah.
in their words, they said, it doesn't stray left and it doesn't stray right. It's exact. And they
Okay.
have a procedure to follow and nothing more.
Okay. Could it be, we talk about miracles in the Bible. Jesus performed miracles. So, and there's miracles that happen today. Did they tie in the Orions? Are they connected with miracles today?
I believe so. Yes. They're the ones that are they're the ones that are the right hand of God. And, the particulars of it, I don't exactly know, but they can do some really, they're so far advanced and so way ahead of us that, I know it's hard for us to believe, but there are things they can do that we're in awe and in amazement. I mean, look at crop circles.
Yeah. I want to talk about this planet, them on this planet. Do you think they're among us, Ronnie? Are they walking among us, these Orions?
Maybe not the Orions, but they do have a lot of people that they send here, and they look human. You wouldn't know them from anyone else. They're here to observe. They're here to help. They had said that a lot of times they get them into governmental positions, and they expose some corrupt people.
Really? They put them in government, and the government could that be what's going on right now? Without getting into politics, you're seeing a lot of corruption exposed?
Yes. And it's these people that they've sent down. And also, when you think of it, so when do these people leave? At some point they do leave. They come and they do their mission. And there's probably hundreds of thousands of them here, if not millions of these.
Well, I got to tell you, when I look at some of these people in the government, I do believe you're right. I do believe they are aliens. So what alien are you going to vote for? Okay, so rounding the corner here and summing this up, there are aliens walking among us now. Would these become like hybrids, part alien, part human that you talked about?
Well, there are hybrids on the planet. These people, because they come here for a different kind of purpose, I don't know that they're hybrids. Maybe they are because they have to acclimate to our atmosphere. Okay. So maybe they are crossed with humans. Yeah. I don't know that for sure, but they.
Yeah. What do they look like, Ronnie? Can you give me? I mean, is there hair color, eye color?
The people that come here, that they send down here, look just like us.
Okay.
Now, the people, if you're talking about the people from Orion, the advanced people, they are tall. They're 7 to 8 feet tall. They said their heads are rounder than ours, and they're just bigger boned, bigger people, and they said they're tall and lanky.
Okay. All right. So. You had mentioned there was a certain year you thought they might show up by. You said 2026. They said the Earth will end by 2026.
It won't end, and that wasn't this is what they said. They said if we do not change course with our pollution and clean up the planet by 2076. It will be irreversible, and it will be downhill from there.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
And there will be, the air, water, the ground, everything will be so polluted by then that we won't be able to grow food. Women will not be able to bear children any longer, and it will just be downhill. And I hate to have bad news like that, but it's just, you have to be realistic about things.
I mean, we're talking about we don't have much longer to go then, if this is true.
That's not that a lot. That's not very far.
Oh, it's just, a few years out.
And here's the thing. I think one of the things that they have a problem with is they said, well, people don't care. They walk around in the cloud. And they said, they just leave it for the next guy.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm telling people is, look, you are the next guy, because you're going to reincarnate and come back to a much worse world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Well, Ronnie, what I do admire about you is that you're willing to step out and share what you believe, okay? Not necessarily what I believe or anyone else believes, but what you're convicted of. So let me just go back and we'll sum this up here. With them telling you that the Bible was written by man, if a person believes that the Bible was written by God, okay, if they believe that, let's say, all right, and yet they hear a voice from an alien that says, no, the Bible is not written by God. Isn't it safe to say that whatever voice they're hearing is kind of opposite God, anti-God, if they're telling you something God wrote that they didn't really write?
No, I think they're just setting things straight and giving you the real truth of things.
Okay.
These people are good. They're the ones that created us and put us on the planet.
Okay. Okay. So have you heard of L.A. Marzulli? Have you listened to L.A. Marzulli?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. He and I talk, and we talk about, now I'm going to share with you what our beliefs are. So, we can talk about that a little bit if you want. We believe that aliens, for the most part, are demonic beings that are going to deceive people in these last days, meaning they are going to come down and say they're of higher intelligence. They're going to tell us that they can fix things. Basically, everything that you just said, okay? There's a thing in the Bible about the man of sin. He's the Antichrist. And I've always wondered, how in the world would one person, one man come down and get everybody on their side? It wouldn't be the Pope, because nobody, only the Catholics follow him. It's not going to be, it's just not going to be. But yet, someone from, quote, another planet could come down and bam, I've got all the answers, baby. So what do you say to that? I mean, I'm not sitting here going to debate, but I want to share with you my philosophy, the way I see it. I do happen to believe that the Bible. Now, I know it's a hard one, and I struggle with this, Ronnie, because I go, because man just keeps wanting to con people. Every time I turn around, I see man lying to people. It's called religion, and I don't like religion. We talked about this, but I have to believe, because when I read the Bible, I really feel like the Holy Spirit's talking to me at times and so forth. But what can you tell me, or what can we talk about in this arena of believing that the Bible is God's word, and if it's God's word, that could these aliens be a deception? You think that's even possible?
Well, first of all, you got to, people need to step outside and just really think and use their head. What are the messages? Are they good ones? Are these people here to help? It's overwhelmingly that they're here to help. If people keep screaming, I think one of the problems is humans are fearful. They live in fear, and they keep crying out alien invasion. And first of all, that's never happened, for one. If it was ever going to happen, it would have already happened. And I think you just got to look at the messages, and I have hours and hours and hours of questions and answer sessions from these people. They're here to help. And that's all I can say.
But when you say it never happened, what is it that never happened?
We've never been attacked. Here's the problem. Here's the problem.
Invasion from another planet. Is that what you're saying?
If you want to know what the most evil species is,
yeah,
it's humans.
Who is it?
Humans are the most evil species.
Yeah. They're very, we've become infected by, it's, so what you're saying is we've never been attacked by aliens, and the information you're getting has always been positive, always been good. And when you want to look at something, look at the message someone's bringing, right? And you're saying it's a good message. Good message. Okay, got you. All right, Hey, this has been amazing. This has been an amazing time together. And thank you, Ronnie, for sharing, because I got to tell you, I do a lot of interviews. I've learned some things, discovered things. Not that I agree with everything you're saying or whatever. I'm not talking about agreeing, but I've listened to you and I've listened to how you come across and the things that you're saying. And now I understand how it is that people that believe that aliens are, angels and from God, how that can come to be, the belief system. So I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to us and to share with us your valuable information.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Oh, Ronnie, you've got a book, and it's a pretty good book. I went through it, didn't have time to get in it. Let's give everyone the name of that book and how they can get in touch with you to get the book.
It's The Theologians of Orion. It's got a lot of amazing information that we couldn't even really tackle here today. And it's on Amazon for $11.99 or $4.99 on Kindle.
Okay. And do you have a website or any way they can get in contact with you?
I don't have a website up and running. I'm on Twitter.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'll share people your information when they do get in touch with me. So if I read the book, is there some place in there that's going to tell me if our city officials in our county and our state and our government officials are actually aliens and which ones of them aren't?
Well, here's the thing. Here's another example of them being good people. They're trying to root out corruption.
Root out corruption. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Rooting out corruption. That is a very, very good mission to have, because right now I'm seeing it happen and I'm praying it's going to continue. Ronnie, thank you so much. God bless you. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And for all you guys out there, davidheavener.tv, thank you. All right. If you're interested in getting to know more about the ministry or you'd like to support us, go to davidheavener.tv/donate. If you'd like to see any of our product, any of our, I got these 2 new books. Now it's time for me, Ronnie, to tell people about my books. True Power, how to use your true power in these last days, your God-given power. This is the story of my life on aliens, abduction, demons in Hollywood, angels, dealing with SRA, with program multiples. Get that, pick that up. And then we have 2 DVDs here. The End Times Investigation DVD, talking about aliens and demons and astral projection and all that good stuff. And then this is episode 1 of Last Evangelist. I want you to pick that up. Go to davidheavener.tv/order, call 844-806-0006, or you can just text the word chosen to 91999. I love you guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Yeah.
One of the things we didn't talk about was reptilians. Now, there's your bad aliens.
Oh, good. Okay, we'll do a pickup on that.
It's in the book.
Yeah, let's do a pickup on that. Okay.
Okay.
I'll let that out. Okay, here we go. Everybody, David here. Welcome, David Heavener TV. We're back with Ronnie, and we've been talking about aliens. Now, Ronnie says aliens are that were created by God. Their God, or the God's name, is the Infinite One, and that then these aliens, these Orions, created us. But not just created us; they pulled us, different ethnic groups from different planets. Like the Mexicans have their own planet, the blacks have their own planet, the Asians have their own planet, threw them here on planet Earth. And by the way, if you're white, you're out of luck. You're stuck with this planet because that's where you're from. All right. Now, Ronnie says aliens are good. They're from God, guardian angels. But now we're going to talk about the bad aliens, okay? Because I talked to Ronnie, we talked about, and I talked to you about demonic beings portraying themselves as aliens, meaning how is this great deception going to happen with the Antichrist coming in these last days? I believe it's going to be someone thinking it's an alien going to save the planet, save people, but it's actually going to be a demonic being. Let's talk about the dark side of aliens, reptilians.
There are reptilians that there are ones that are good and there are ones that are bad. And the ones that are bad, what I learned is they really don't want to be found out, so they want to keep us in check. These reptilians do have a soul, which surprised me. The gray aliens do not have a soul, but these ones do. And they are kind of like more the lower class of the advanced races, because they fear for themselves, and therefore they will create chaos. And they really don't want us to know the truth of the good coming through. So this, if anyone's creating the, feeling that anything, what's coming forward, not to believe them, maybe this is coming from these beings.
Okay, these reptilians, where do they come from? Are they coming from the Orion planet out there, or the planet Betelgeuse?
No, there are some reptilians that live near there on a planet there, and I believe those might be the good ones, but I don't know where these other ones live.
Okay.
Or come from.
Okay. What do they look like? When you meet them, do they look like people, or they look like lizards?
I think they look like lizard, but I think that they can project an image in your mind to make it look like they look like something else. I believe that's what they can do.
So the physical form, as they walk the face of the earth on a day-to-day basis, is there actually lizard-looking people walking upright or down on their...
That I don't know, but here's something to get you to think. And that is, I had told you that all the advanced races make their own people, and they put them on the planet. There are 55% of the people here have Orion DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then the rest of it is made up of all these other advanced races of people that they put on the planet. But again, the Orions watch over all of us. So the reptilians, they do have a soul. They are advanced, and they do make people of their own. And they put them on the planet as well. So they are.
So the Orions. There's other. You're saying there's other forms of life, excuse me, in existence in the universe, not just the Orions. Because we've been talking about the Orions, but you're saying there's many Orions out there. There's
many other advanced races, like from the Pleiades. The Arcturians and things like that. Those are other advanced peoples.
Right, but they're separate in and of themselves. They're not part of Orion, so therefore there's a lot of Orions out there, right?
Correct, but all of these good ones, they all work together.
Okay, but the reptilians, the reptiles, they're on the face of the earth. They're walking upright or on all fours, we don't know. But when you're looking at them, they have the power to create an illusion of we're seeing a human being, but they're really a reptile. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Now, whether they're walking around the earth, I don't know. I don't know that they even need to do that, because it's like I said, they will create a person. They'll cross them with their DNA, and it looks like a human being, but you've got reptilian DNA. So there's a lot of people here with reptilian DNA.
Yeah. Well, we call those Nephilim. We call them hybrids. Nephilim from the flood. It gets a little more complicated than that, but just for the sake of time. Well,
even then, these reptilians, they might be bad, and they're creating chaos, and they really don't want to be found out. But we still remember, even with these bad guys, I've been told that the humans still are the most evil species. But I'm sorry.
You mean we're worse than the lizards walking around? The reptilians?
We're worse than them.
And wait a minute, and they're on the lower class of the totem pole. If we're underneath them, where are we at? Are we like?
We are drama and chaos. And I mean, look at what's going on in the world today, the massive corruption, and money is the worst invention. It's just made everybody crazy.
Oh, well, I know. I was talking about this BLM riot and the culture wars and all these crazy riots we had, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and nobody was stopping them. I was going to ask you if there were reptilians involved in that. Do you think there were, like with these riots and the chaos? Are they involved in that, kind of instigating that?
I'm not really sure, but what part that they're,
Right.
they're playing.
But it sounds like to me we don't need them. We can do it on our own. We're disgusting enough to create all that chaos on our own.
But there are some humans with reptilian DNA that are bad and are causing problems. There was one that was pointed out to me, and that was Kim Jong-un.
He's an alien. He's a reptilian.
He has reptilian DNA. From what I've been told.
You're talking about Korea, North Korea.
Yeah.
Why would that race of reptilians choose North Korea to drop one of their own species?
I do not know.
Maybe they like Korean food or something. So I'm going to conclude this with this right here. You see, according to Scripture, according to what I believe, because I believe Jesus is the only way to God, God's Son, that we have redemption, but only through Christ. Meaning, we are Ronnie. Everything you said is right when it comes to the human race being disgusting, fallen. I mean, it's just there's so much drama and stuff. But we have redemption through Christ. In other words, having the mind of Christ, living like Christ. We do have redemption on that. I want to share that with you because I want to, if you're like me, you're thinking, oh my God, there's no hope here. What do we do? But I have seen, it's in my book too. I have seen people that resemble reptiles. Okay. Now I know that's far out. And it's not explainable completely, obviously, in my book and the way I explain it. I do believe they're demonic, but I have seen people that, and I'm telling you, I've seen them. They look like a reptilian. These people. Now, maybe you've just kind of shed a little bit of information on me there with this reptilian thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is all things that I've learned through the Orions, through my mom. Yeah.
Well, you tell your mother I said hi, and it's been great being with you, Ronnie. God bless you, and I really do appreciate you.
Thank you. Maybe sometime you'll be able to talk to her.
I'd love to. Maybe I'll get her on sometime.
Okay.
All right. God
Sounds
bless.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good. All right, we got that. All right, Ronnie, good. Great show. I really enjoyed it. How about you?
I know. Yeah, it was really awesome.
Yeah.
I love being on. And so it was all great. And you had lots and lots of great questions.
Good. Thank you. I prayed about that. All I want people to come to truth is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You can't push people into truth. You can't manipulate it, but you can pray that God gives you the right questions and the right conversation happens. That's it, So, but I have to tell you, as a songwriter in Nashville, and the guy who sang one of my songs, you wouldn't have heard of him because he wasn't a big star, but he sang a song. He went by the name Orion. If you get a chance, go on YouTube and type in Orion.
Yeah.
And type in "Saving Up My Pennies." That's a song I wrote for him. He sounds just like Elvis Presley. And I'm going to ask you if you think he has any. I'm telling you, the guy I thought was Elvis Presley. He used to do Elvis Presley impersonations, and he wore a mask. Okay. Type in Orion and type in "Saving Up My Pennies." You'll see I wrote it. I just thought it was odd. Why would he wear a mask? And he was tall. He was like 6'7".
Oh, wow.
Yeah, check that out and let me know. Shoot me an email or something. Let me know because I always wondered that.
I'll get a reading from my mother.
Huh?
I'll have my mother look at him.
Okay.
She'll
Yeah,
give
do
a
that.
reading
All
on
right.
it.
That sounds good. All right. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you so much.
Blessings. Bye-bye.